We are back with Richard Southern chatting about some of the more interesting stories of the day. And Richard, an Australian woman has been rescued after 5 days, stranded in the bush, and you won't believe what she survived on.
She survived, Erica, in the middle of nowhere, Australia, on candy and wine. Sounds like a pretty good time to me. 48-year-old woman. She was traveling through dense bush in the middle of nowhere, Australia, hit a dead end, took a wrong turn. Her vehicle got stuck in the mud. Lillian Ip is her name. Now, she doesn't drink at all, but she had a bottle of wine in her car that she was planning to give her mother as a gift. And so while stranded, she sipped away on the wine. It was the only liquid she had until rescuers found her 5 days later. The wine saved her life. She also had some small candy she nibbled on. So how did the wine taste to Lillian, the non-drinker? Well, her single-word answer on Australian TV, Erica, was bleeped, suggesting she was not a fan. But is that a story of survival? That sounds just like an average weekend for me.
Perhaps. I mean, good on her for surviving that long, 5 days. But as somebody who doesn't drink wine, maybe she got a little tipsy, too, just having a little sip, probably.
She was probably having a grand old time by herself in that car, Erica.
It's one way to get through it. Okay. Italy's industry minister has called a crisis meeting over surging pasta prices.
That constitutes a serious crisis in Italy because it's not a stereotype. Italians eat an awful lot of pasta, and the cost of it in that country has gone absolutely through the roof. So Italy's industry minister, yes, calling an emergency meeting. Cost of spaghetti and other pasta products in Italy up 17.5% year on year, despite a drop in wheat prices. So the Italians want to know, hey, what's going on here? Pasta is the cornerstone of many Italians' diets. They eat more than anyone else worldwide, about 60 pounds of pasta per person per year on average in Italy. Could you live without pasta, Erica?
That pasta is delicious as well. I've had pasta in Italy and it's like nothing else. Also, I think if there was like surging prices here, we'd have to call a crisis as well.
True. Yeah, coffee or something would cause us to go crazy here with beer prices.
Okay, finally, new findings on Mars could help guide the search for life on the red planet.
This is super interesting. There's a new Chinese rover on the planet, and it has discovered now some features near the equator on Mars that has led researchers to believe that salty water flowed on Mars' surface as recently as 400,000 years ago. And that's like yesterday in geological terms. Here's the interesting thing. Atmospheric conditions on Mars 400,000 years ago were pretty much, they think, what we see now. So the question is there some water flowing on Mars now, particularly in low-lying areas? This finding also could direct future missions to search for life, because we know, Erica, where there's water on Mars, there's often life. So, you know, it's really interesting. All we learn now in recent years about the red planet, it's a much more interesting place than many thought. It's not this derelict desert. There could be a lot more going on up there than we think, Erica.
I always love those updates. Okay, thanks, Richard. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Thanks, Erica.